welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about highlighting and contouring. I've had some people with a few questions on highlighting and contouring, and I've also had one about the Tarte Pro Glow palette, which I don't have, but I do have some similar colors as to what they have in that palette. So I'm going to try to kind of give you a little contouring and highlighting 101. So let's dive on in. As with most makeup techniques, there's a lot out there, and it's pretty much up to you to decide what works best for you and your face. No two people have the same exact face, unless you're an identical twin, or triplet, or quadruplet, or whatever. Unless you're like identical, you don't have the same exact face as someone else. And even then, I don't really know if it's identical. So anyways, so everyone's face is different, so no two people are gonna contour exactly the same, but there's a pretty much general guideline of what you want to stand out, what you want to sink in, which is basically what contouring is. It's all about changing the shape of your face based on what you want to stick out further and what you want to look like it goes in further, and kind of how to make your face look like the shape that you want. So I already went ahead and jumped in with this LORAC 3-in-1 face primer, the light source. So I've already got that on my face. I'm going to go ahead and pop on my foundation, the Too Faced Born This Way. So now that we've got the foundation on, we've got the face kind of ready for the contouring. So the next step that I usually do, which again, there's so many different ways you can contour your face, and there's a lot of different techniques out there, but I'm just going to tell you what I like to do. I don't have a contouring palette per se, but I do have a lot of different shades, which basically is what comes in a contouring palette. A lot of different shades of highlight and a lot of different shades of deeper tones to kind of contour out. The next step that I usually do is concealer. I know concealer originally was probably meant for concealing flaws. So like if you have bumps or dark spots or things like that that you want to cover, that's really what concealer is for. But nowadays, I sound like an old geezer. Nowadays, people typically use concealer in a lighter shade than their face to highlight and brighten the areas that they want to kind of stand out more. So I'm going to jump in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and mine is in the shade Fairest. I like to get a concealer that's a lot lighter than my face just because I want it to be like super bright. But you don't have to do that. You can kind of go with a more subtle look and kind of pick out a shade that's not as drastic for you if that's what you want. It's totally up to you. So as for highlighting, anywhere that you put a highlight is going to make it look like it sticks out more. So usually we go on the forehead and down the center of the nose. We go here because when this sticks out more, it looks fuller. Everybody wants to have kind of a fuller lip. And then your chin, if it looks like it sticks out more, kind of gives you that more slender and elongated look. And then also under the eyes. Now, this place isn't really a place that I think you're trying to make it stick out. I feel like this is more of an area that you just want to brighten up to make you look more alive and conceal those dark spots if you have dark spots under your eyes. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. Okay, so the concealer just kind of brightens up those areas, and in my opinion, it kind of gives you a guideline of where you want to put the highlight later on. So next, the darkening areas or the contour. There's a rule where you go in like the number 3 shape. So you want to darken around the forehead, under the cheekbone, and then under the jawline to kind of give you a more chiseled, slender look. When we contour around the forehead, it makes your face look a little smaller. Like if you have a really big forehead, if you contour around the forehead further down, it will kind of shorten your forehead a little bit. If you contour around here, it kind of brings it in a little more. So basically, it's kind of slenderizing your face a little more. Under the cheekbone, same thing. It makes the cheeks look a little sunk in. And then under the jawline, which if you've got a little double chin action going on, you can kind of conceal that by making it look like it recedes and sinks in more rather than sticks out. So you can contour with creams. I'm not really a fan of the creams, so I like to use a powder, like a bronzer, and it's really up to you whether you want a cool tone or a warm tone. A lot of people like a cool tone just because it mimics more of a natural shadow, but sometimes I like a warm bronzer, not gonna lie. So I've got so many different shades. I've got this one from Morphe. This is called Debutante. I feel like it's too orangey for my complexion. This one is the Take Home the Bronze from The Balm. It's a little sample I got. It's in the shade Thomas. This one, it says anti-orange right here. Anti-orange, but for some reason on me, again, it's a little too orange. So I really love all the ones I've tried from Too Faced, as well as Tarte, as well as the one in my last video from Unique, the Beachfront Bronzer. You could go with a drugstore. This is Wet n Wild, Ticket to Brazil. This one's from Physicians Formula. So again, another drugstore brand. Just use what you got. Any darker shade than your skin that you have, you can pretty much use to contour. Depending on how dramatic you want it to look, you can go a lot darker or you can kind of go just a shade darker just to make it more subtle. So again, it's completely up to you. Makeup is an expression of yourself and your style. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you need to do. You do what you want to do. Do you. Whatever makes you happy on your face, go for it. All right. I think today, since I've already kind of started off with the Too Faced, I'll continue on with it. I've got these two Too Faced bronzers here that are older, but they're goodies. I like them. So I've got the dark chocolate Soleil, and then I've got the chocolate Soleil. So obviously the dark chocolate is going to be a little darker than the chocolate, and you can see how much I've used of this. This one's pretty much gone. I think I'm going to go in with the chocolate Soleil bronzer. I really like to use this shape of brush when I'm contouring. This is a brush from Ulta, and it's called a contour bronzer brush. I have another one that's similar. This one is from Sigma, and it's called the Large Angled Contour F40. So very similar brushes. So we're gonna go follow that rule of the 3. So we start around our forehead. We go under the cheekbone. And then you want to go under the jaw. I typically don't do like that extent of like a 3 when I'm doing my makeup. I just kind of go around and down and down. But that's where it comes from. So we're going to go ahead and contour it out. And again, by doing this, we're shortening the forehead a little, making the face look a little smaller, making the cheeks look a little more sunk in, and then making the jawbone stick out more, which gets rid of that double chin action you got going on. Y'all probably don't have double chins, but I got a little bit of one. So again, same thing, around the forehead, under the cheekbone, and then under the jaw. That's pretty much the contour part. Now again, if you want to take it a step further and contour your nose, you can. I'll do that today just for the sake of kind of showing you what I do typically. This is a large shadow brush. It's like a little drugstore one. I don't even remember the brand. It's just like a little short flat brush. So I'm going to take that same bronzer that I used, and I start out where my eyebrows are, okay? And we want to make the nose look slimmer. Again, contouring is all about making things look slimmer and more just defined. So my normal nose kind of starts to recede right here, but we want it to look like it's starting to recede even further in, which is going to make my nose look skinnier and smaller. So instead of following my natural line of where it recedes, I'm gonna just bring it in a hair. I'm sorry if y'all can hear, my husband's cutting grass, so we're gonna bring it in a hair, okay? You take it all the way down to about your tip. And again, there's so many different nose shapes. I have like a ball on the end of my nose for some reason. It's got like a divot in the middle. I joke that I have a butt on the end of my nose. Don't know what it is, but hey, you gotta accept what you got, what God gave you. Love your body the way it is, but makeup can just make you feel a little bit better and give you a little more confidence. I am now blending that line just a little bit. I turned my brush, so I had it going long ways. Now I'm turning it sideways just to kind of blend that out. Then when you get to the bottom, you also want to, okay, so my nose starts going down, like obviously down here, but to shorten your nose, you can kind of darken it to create a shadow up here, and it makes it look like it starts going, you know, back sooner, or like further up, so it makes it look shorter essentially. Lawnmower. So that's how I contour my nose. Next step is the highlight. Anywhere you put highlight is the opposite of the contour. It's gonna bring it out, make it look like it sticks out further. We want the cheekbones to stick out, brows to look like they stick out more. The top of the lip, which is called the Cupid's bow, we want that to stick out, which gives you that like kind of puckered look. I'm gonna show you with this. This is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Sugar Kit. It's basically a highlighting palette that's got 4 shades in it. Look how pretty they are. Again, it depends on your skin tone or what you're feeling that day, with what you want to use as far as your highlight color. If you have a palette that has golds and pinks and white, kind of like this, you just use whatever color you feel like works best with your skin tone. You can even use different colors in different areas. A lot of times I'll use a brighter color in my inner corner. I'll use like a darker, maybe a gold on my cheekbones. So it really just depends, again, on your preference. But for the sake of showing you lots of different colors, I'll go ahead and use multiple colors on my face today. So typically on the cheekbones, you can get away with a darker color if you want. So I'll go in with this gold on my cheekbones. And this is a setting brush from Real Techniques, but I like to use it. I feel like it's just the perfect shape to kind of dust on. It kind of comes to a little point, it's tapered, and it just is the perfect size to dust on the cheeks. So that's what I use. We're going into that gold shade, and I'm gonna pop that on the top of the cheeks. Okay, so do you see how the light hits my cheekbone? It makes it look like it sticks out further. And then underneath, this looks like it sinks in more because it's darker. So we're just kind of playing off of the light and shadows, which is basically all that contouring is. This is that deeper golden shade. We'll go ahead and do the other cheekbone. Okay, so do you see how we have that look where the cheekbones look like they're out more? This looks more sunk in. Again, for the sake of using multiple colors, I'm going to use my pencil brush, which is smaller, the Sigma E30. I'm going to go into the lightest shade now, up here, and we'll pop that on the inner corner just to brighten. And then we'll stick it up here under the brow bone. Okay, so that's going to make the brow bone look like it's sticking out more, a little more chiseled. Okay, so we used the golden one on the cheeks. We used the lighter one around the eyes. So I'm going to go into this one over here, which is kind of a pinky, kind of a medium in-between shade. And I'll use that one today on the nose. So we're just going to go the slightest bit down the center. Remember, the skinnier the line, the skinnier your nose looks. And just the little tip of your nose to make it kind of look a little more cutesy, like it's just sticking out just ever so much. Okay, so that's typically how I like to contour my nose. Again, with the lip, we want it to look more pouty, So we've got this shade here left that we didn't use, so I'll just show you this one. Pop that on the Cupid's bow. So as you can see, it just kind of highlights the lip a little right there and makes it look a little more full, like it's sticking out more. Then on the chin, I'll go back in. Let's use this darker gold color again. And we'll just kind of dust a little on the chin. For me personally, some people don't do this, but I do because my face is rounder, so I like my face to look a little longer. So if I draw attention to the chin and make the chin look like it sticks out more, it kind of makes your face look a little longer and leaner. So this is typically how I contour my face. I don't have any other makeup on, so I probably look a little crazy. Something I forgot to mention, just like with the darker colors, they make creams as well as powders. They also do that with highlighters. A lot of makeup companies have liquid or cream or gel highlighters as well. Specifically, I have these two from Too Faced. These are like liquid glow drops. I'm not crazy about liquids or creams as far as contouring, so I personally just kind of stay away from things like that. This is another one from Too Faced. It's the Pink Lemonade. Again, it's very pretty and it smells great. I just am not a fan of the texture on my face. This one is from So Susan Cosmetics. This is the Dream Maker Light Shifting Highlighting Cream in the shade Mirage. I'll show you what this looks like. So it's in a little tube like this. It's a liquid. It's like a liquid highlighter. Again, I'm just not a fan of like the wet or cream highlights. This last one I have is from Incredible. I think that's how you say that. And it's called You Glow Girl. This is the iridescent jelly. So there's even like jelly ones, but this is what it looks like in the little container. It's a very pretty iridescent color, but it's just, I'm not a fan. I mean, you can see it's just sticky. I hope this video was helpful for y'all. If you have any questions or if there's something else that maybe would help explain a little more deeper, please comment below and let me know, and I'll try my best to get back to you and help you out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to be notified when I post new videos, click the little bell. All right, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.